What's up, ComicsGate world? Shane Mess here from King Toad Comics, and today, I just want to talk about, CG in general. ComicsGate. Some good, some bad, great, ugly, everything in between. Not really showing off any products or anything, nothing like that. But just the general, community talk is so interesting with ComicsGate. Um, One minute you have I don't know, if you're me, or like me, your Twitter, if you're ComicsGate, you have people promoting each other, talk about this great project or that project. This project's so close to this stretch goal. This campaign is doing really great. On the other hand, you have people that feel like they've gotten burned on a lot of projects and just go CG sucks. It's dead. It's not what it was when it started. Where's my book at? And, you know, and as a creator, you try to find your place in CG of where you stand with a lot of this. Because in reality, there's different levels of CG, right? One, it's a movement. It's not a company. So, as a creator, I have no say in if some person's book's late, delayed, or the creator just disappeared. I'm a low-level guy in CG. I'm upcoming. My first campaign only did like $5,000, right? So I can voice my opinion and be like, yeah, that person really, really screwed the pooch, screwed you, you know. But I find as a creator and a backer that I can't blame a whole community. I'm not going to hold someone say, Matt Burke there, right? He's put out two Butch Cleaver books on time, did all the work from the art, lettering, coloring. He had his strategy and he's seen it through. And he did a great job, right? Now, as a backer, I loved it, second book came out. He did his campaign. I think he probably around a 7K campaign. And, we can all back that. All ComicsGate can stand behind people like Matt Burt, the Diaz brothers. So bad at this. There we go. I got people on my wall that I backed, or I'm part of groups who, that I think what their last campaign, the Diaz brothers, I don't know, 72K or something maybe. I might be exaggerating, or maybe close. I don't know. It wants to look at the numbers. Well, they did a really good job, right? And put out quality books on time, and that's CG, right? It's an alternative to the big two, to the DC and Marvel, right? Now, I like a bunch of different comics. I still like stuff that's in Marvel and DC, maybe not so much the current stuff. But a lot of us, we have, our love for the industry. We wouldn't be doing this, There's going to be Spider-Man stories that we enjoy, or Aquaman or Superman that we can talk about, that influenced us, So I'm not one of the people that try to hate too much on the big two, because they're going to do their thing. And if that's what you like, that's what you like. CG is an alternative. That's all it is. And if there's certain creators that you feel like you get burned on, you get burned on them, and you simply just do not back their second campaign. To me, that doesn't seem like the most difficult strategy as a backer, from the backer's point of view. So I guess what my point is, I find it weird that there be a certain creator that falls through, and then everybody just blames all of ComicsGate. Who I'm a 5K, creator over here. My business partner John Ball, he's doing a lot better than me. our current debt is 29K. So we're still very low compared to what some of the higher ups are. Uh, and what do CG people, the backers, want a creator like me to do as far as that? Nothing, right? Like, there's nothing I can do. I can't force books out that I have no control of. It's not a company. It's just a movement, right? An alternative. Now, you're going to get burned just as much outside of CG. You can go to any other independent movement, or just the average guy that just decided to throw up a project, right? There's still no guarantee that he's going to bring you a book. But for me, I have received a lot more books than I haven't received books in CG. There's a couple I'm waiting on. There's some that I'm like, I I guess the creator just disappeared. Probably not going to see that book. But you know what? I'm definitely not back in the second one. Now, there's certain creators that people will just like hound and hound and hound on a second or third campaign. Well, if he was late or she was late on the first campaign or second campaign and you still back the third campaign, there's a bunch of CG projects that you can back outside of that one. And if you're just, like I say, if you're just outraged or just want to voice that opinion about that project or that person, then direct towards them. There's no reason to blame all of CG. I have no control over that. The creators behind me have no control over uh, other people's projects. You know, um, I don't know. That's what this video is like. It's not really about venting, but it's just kind of like I try to understand what goes on in the community of CG. Um, uh, when it comes to the positive and the negative. Uh, as far I also see like people be like, uh, 4 or 5 years in CG, we should have this figured out. They should have their books completed before they even hit a campaign. What? You can't put a guy like me on the same like pedestal as like an Ethan Van Sciver or a Shane Davis or a Malin or a Mandy who've been at this and have like this gigantic audience and have some of these guys, they have a background, so they automatically when they come into a CG thing they bring an audience with them, and their resources are going to be better than mine. That defeats the whole point of the campaign for some people. I'm lucky enough to where like I'm putting in money as I go on this my new campaign that I'm working on, a new project. So I'm going to have it done, if not mostly done, by the time I even launch a campaign. But that strategy doesn't work for everybody. I'm a 9 to 5 guy. I'm my strategy is going to be totally different than some other people. You know, I don't have the resources. Also, it depends on. I'm just a writer, so I'm paying for all of it. See what I'm saying? Like I'm paying for the artist, coloring, lettering, printing, so forth, so forth, versus a guy who might be the actual illustrator, right? So he just cut his budget, you know, in half, you know. So maybe he doesn't need uh, the campaign funding at a certain amount versus somebody like me who would at least like to break even. Like I say, I'm just breaking into the industry, so I'm willing to fork out my own income to at least get the book to a certain point, to where the backers will feel it's in a safe zone to back. Like, oh, this guy has a finished book or close to, so I'll probably back it. But that's not true. I'm not trying to go back on what I was saying, because there are people who have nothing. So it's going to be like they have a great idea. They can be like the next Watchmen of comics, but they don't have a dime to their name. because all their money goes to their bills. So they need a crowdfunding system to make it operational. And so it's really weird when people just think like, uh, I'm sitting on like $1 million, or somebody else is sitting on $1 million to like throw out a book and can have it done. Because to me, what's the point of the campaign? At that point, what's the point? Like, are we really that reliant on Indiegogo? Me personally and JB, John Ball, we're trying to maybe even get away from the Indiegogo. You know, we've created our Etsy stores. I would love to put my next book out just on Etsy. But the CG community has to tell me that's the next step. Is we will go to you guys' independent sites. I just know like Indiegogo has been kind of like the hub, the go-to formula. You know, that like I say, everything is on the backers. You know, um, like I say, like your opinion on CG, um, the whole CG movement relies on the backers, and I guess that's the thing I'm trying to boil down to is like if there's a certain creator or a project that's either nobody's heard from for a while, or maybe it's further delayed than you like, target that creator, that project. Be like, hey man, I backed this. Where is it? Not, hey man, look CG, you guys screwed up. How am I responsible for every, ComicsGate creator? You as the audience decide who's up here, who's down here. You want to keep throwing money up here and getting mad and, go Karen on everybody about, oh, CG this or CG that. Then be smarter with your income. Be smarter with your money, the projects you were backing. This guy's not making you happy? Take a gamble on this guy over here. You know what? Now he went up a little bit, didn't he? Oh, his next project might be a little bit, get a little bit more better artist this time, or more pages counts. It's as simple as that. You get burned on one guy. You know, it's hard for us creators to lash out against other projects or creators because we get backlashed. You as the audience have to prove that this is a movement for you, not as much for me. It's for you. It's just a place for us creators, an outlet, a voice to get our projects seen and become a real thing. Me and John Ball, we tried DC and Marvel back in like 2001 and 1999 because we're old. All we could do was submit, pamphlets. 6 months later, get the, notification that, we're not looking for anybody. What are people like me and John Ball supposed to do, right? So a movement was made. John Ball was the first to hear of it and be there towards the beginning. He finally brought me into it. Like, hey, there's this movement. We've been trying to do this stuff for years. We've done alternatives just because we gave up. So there's guys like us that's really hungry. That's another key thing in ComicsGate. Find who is hungry. Back them. You can still be have your opinion on the books. I'm not saying just because it's a hungry artist that their works doesn't suck. You can still be like, you know what? I'm glad you got the book out on time stuff, but you could work on this. And as a creator, listen to them. Don't complain to your backers like, well, they just didn't understand this or they don't understand panel work. They're the audience. They understand. They've probably been reading comics. They know a good story. You can't give them the Disney treatment. We can't do that to our backers. We can't be like, well, you were like this or you're not CG. You can't do that either, right? Listen to your backers. Soak it into your brain. work that out on your next project. You know, um, but yeah, this is all just me blabbering about CG. Just uh, coming across it on my Twitter. Just this is funny. Just seeing like the ups and downs of views and like as one of the creators, just figure out tell you where I sit with a lot of this stuff. You know, bottom tier guy down here. Can't I can't force you guys to love or hate certain projects. All I can say is hold the creators responsible for their projects. You know, it's your money. You know, and you know what? If you end up not liking a lot of ComicsGate's material, you could still go back to the Marvels and DCs. Nobody's stopping anybody if that's what you like better. You know, if you're comfortable and you know with their products, then by all means just do that. That's fine. Or any other indie um, campaigns or movements out there. Um, but yeah, like I said, like just because somebody has a political view, that's another thing. Like there's some political people in CG. I can't stop that. I spend most of my nights on my 9 to 5, like talking nerd. That's it. Like I didn't get into comics to care about the politics of the world. It's my scapegoat. It's your scapegoat. That's why you're reading it, right? You come home, you're like, I don't want to deal with the news. Work sucked. I just want to read a fucking comic book today. That's why I'm here, and that's all I care about. Creating my material. Um, you know, I don't try to bait people with political agendas or views. I don't even know how some of these people have time to even like look into half this crap. I don't know if I don't care. It's like I used to be WWE fan, right? And me and the guys at work we talk about like, oh, back in the day this wrestler was this or that or that, but we'd still watch it, right? We'd watch it forever, and then we just talk about the wrestlers like, oh, they don't do this anymore. The characters are gone. The storylines are garbage. We'd watch it week after week, and finally I was just like, just stop. I don't watch wrestling anymore, right? Don't care. It's kind of how I am with like um, a lot of that stuff. I just don't feel like I have time to be angry about other industries or other markets when I'm trying to create my own. You know, and it takes away from. I think personally, a lot of it takes away from CG when we can focus on everybody else's projects. I know people kind of gravitate towards like a drama or something they can be angry about. I think it gets a lot more clicks and likes and watches because you know it's a talking subject. Like Disney did this week. I can't stand it. I'm like, how would you know it then? You're still giving them the same gratification, right? You're still talking about Disney Plus. You're still talking about Star Wars. You're still talking about Spider-Man or what this character's doing or that character's doing. You know, it's still publicity for them. You know what? Matt Burke. You know, why didn't you mention him? You know, what's his projects been like? You know, and that more important in ComicsGate. Um, as an audience who want to complain about certain creators and stuff, then you have to mold to what's important as the community. You know, don't let the creators do it for you. You do it. You know, then they have no choice but to listen to, you know, the backers, right? Right? You know, if a small channel is only getting like 8 views, versus the big ones that are getting like thousands, but yet you want to complain that you know they're stealing money. Like, who's at fault? You know, um, they'll talk about whatever you want them to talk about. You know, and the pressure. You know, if the money is flowing, then there's no pressure, right? That's why I like this. That's why I like the small ones, I guess, like smaller creators, because I feel like the hunger is really there. You know, we're the 9 to 5ers. You know, going against it and just really having to put the time and effort into everything we do, strategy wise. Um, and that's why I think you see a lot of our projects try to make time on time. Um, because it matters. It definitely matters for your second book, third book, fourth book. You know. Um, but yeah, I guess that's, I don't know, my little rant, my CG rant. Um, I feel like maybe this is what a lot of backers feel. Because yeah, like I say, I've got books I've backed that I don't think I'm going to see them. But you know what? I'm not going to blame, you know, the Diaz brothers who's been putting out all their material. I'm not blaming them. I'm just not going back to the guys again that I'm not going to, promote them and talk about them. I'll let the backers handle that. I'll let you guys decide. Are they worthy to stick around, or you have the ability to see them out the door of the ComicsGate? They can call themselves ComicsGate forever, but the backers are the ones that decide um, where you stand with them, the movement. I guess on that's all I have. Um, yeah, ComicsGate. It's a crazy world to be in.